All right, welcome back. Welcome back. My name is Nix Kane.
And I am that weird spot on your rug in the bathroom.
And welcome back to Smoke and Revelations. Two friends
One topic.
and a big fat bowl.
Now
let's
let's
see
see
where
where the
smoke
smoke
takes
takes
us.
us. Oh. Hold on. Oh.
We started smoking early. Our bad.
Whoopsie. Ah. Oh, welcome back. Today we're having a little bit of peach fuzz it's called peach fuzz, this weed.
Oh, I was like,
Yeah.
peach fuzz. Isn't that your face hairs?
Well, I mean, it's the fuzz on a peach, which is what we're smoking.
Ah.
Yes. Out of the green-eyed monster, Sheila Payton.
Sheila, the green-eyed monster. I don't know who the hell Peyton is.
So, there are ongoing debates all over this world, and that's great. But today, we're going to be talking about what?
Falling.
And?
I don't know.
Interesting. I guess we'll see where the smoke takes us.
Or it's falling and failing.
Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah, or
whatever
something
it's
like
going
that.
to be about.
We don't
Whatever
know,
it's going
mate.
to be about. What does falling make you think of? Like, does it immediately make you think of, like, physical falling?
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Mm-hmm. I see myself falling somewhere, getting hurt, and being like, ha, finally, I knew one of the this is the moment where I die jokes would come true. And like, but yes, that's the first thing that pops in my head.
I have dreamed a lot about falling, but when I hear falling, I feel like the first thing I think of is not ever myself. Like, when I hear falling, I think something spilled. Or almost like I think of even like leaves falling, like things almost that I cannot control. Like, I don't think of me, if that makes sense. Because even when I'm falling, I'm not like I'm falling. I'm like, fuck. And then, one time I was living with my mom, and her shower is slippery as hell. And I was starting to fall, and I tried to grab the shower rod, which then just came down, hit me in the head, and then I banged my arm on the side of the tub. Falling is horrible.
Oh yeah, I got a concussion once from it.
Well, you've had how many now?
But that was my very first concussion.
The first
was me in the shower, because showers are dangerous. And I went to put my foot on the ledge so I can shave my legs, and slipped. My foot slipped, and I was right next to the tile, whacked my head into the tile of the wall, and then fell in the shower. Like, it was like whack,
it's
boom, boom,
horrible.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, it was raining. I was a child. I was out in front of our apartment building, and our car was parked like at the curb by kind of near like the concrete step walk up to get. And I was sliding down the hood of the car in the rain because it was wet and I wanted to play outside. And then I slipped off the hood of the car and cracked my head open on the concrete steps. And my mom came out and found me passed out and took me to the emergency room on a Bugs Bunny pillow in the back of the car, I remember, because I had to get stitches. And this, I don't remember exactly where it is, but there's a little cut, a little scar from it. It's not a wrinkle. It's a scar. Yeah, that's from hitting my head on the concrete step and having to get stitches. And I was like awake, and it was scary because I was a kid. But I don't even think of any of that when I think of falling. Like, that's not like those are never like first thoughts. And you'd think those would be like more of a trauma, I guess.
And see, when I think of falling, like you said, when I was saying I like this is how I die, it's in essence, I don't see me. I see like a little kid version of myself, or not even me, but just a little kid in general. And that kid is falling, but somehow I know that kid is me. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, at that same apartment complex, there was the concrete there was fucking me up. There was a concrete, like, median. So there was, like, a hill, but on the side of it, there was, like, a concrete median. And then on the other side of that was a house. And I thought the lady that lived in there was a witch. And it was, like, my thing, and I would tell that to my brother and my mom, and I was like, she's a witch, and her yard was full of plants and stuff. And I was trying to see into her bathroom window because there was a frog in it, and I was like, that's such a witch thing to have in the window. And I fell off of the concrete and hit my head and passed out, and my brother found me, and I got up then and just like was fine. I wasn't even bleeding, but I thought the witch did it. And those are just some of the crazy times that I fell. Because I also fell once in Florida and busted my eye open on a parking concrete. Concrete fuck is getting me. It's trying to take me out.
I mean, the only other time I've fallen recently was a couple of years ago, 2021. Fell. My neighbor was talking, and I have a bad habit about my body moving before I actually comprehend what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so he said something behind me, and I was still walking forward, but decided to turn around at the same time. Had a margarita for lunch, and I was wearing wedge heels, and I don't really wear heels very often. Fell so hard, I banged my knee. My knee still hurts and still tender on that spot 2 years later. But I fell so hard, one of the other neighbors came out.
Called the police.
He's like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm fine. Leave me my dignity. Are you sure you're okay? I'm fine. Leave me my dignity.
It's so funny to watch people fall.
Is it?
For me,
I've never been one of those people. I never thought it was funny.
Not if I'm there.
No, I mean, like, in general, like, watching videos of people fall,
oh my gosh.
I never thought they were funny.
I absolutely... Kids getting knocked over by dogs, hilarious.
It's because you're on the dog side. I'm on the kid side.
Okay, but it's not just that way. Like, I just love... there's some with squirrels falling off of, like, the stupid telephone wire or whatever.
Now, people, like animals falling, yes. People falling, no.
Interesting. I mean, what about, like, a penguin slipping on the ice?
I mean, I'm not going to be like, ha ha ha, because that's what they do.
A person slipping on the ice.
But okay, I'm not laughing.
So... that reminds me, I worked at a coffee shop for a long time, and out in front of it there were like 3 little concrete steps. And my friend was there, and it was snowing, and like icy, kind of cold. I had already put some salt out, but it had been a while, I'm sure, because I'm sure they were still kind of whatever. And as she was leaving, and she was a silly person also. Let me put that out there before I get to the next part. Where she slipped down the 3 steps in such a funny and dramatic way to me that I was laughing.
Okay, well maybe I do. Okay, when I fall, I think it's funny. Okay, maybe that is.
But she left in an ambulance because she broke her back. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I do. Maybe I do. Maybe because I'm just thinking like, I'm thinking of like, those videos where you see clips and stuff and this old guy is walking and bam.
Hilarious.
I don't think I necessarily find it funny in that regard, but like if I saw someone personal fall, depending on who it is, I might laugh my ass off. I remember my niece was 6 months old and she was on a tantrum. She threw her head back like that, like, to wail. And, still babies at that age, their head is bigger than their body. And she just fell back. She tipped over. It was the first time I have ever laughed at a baby falling.
It's so
and I felt
funny.
so bad. I was like, I can't laugh at her.
I don't feel good or laugh at. It's not people getting hurt that I'm laughing about.
Okay.
That's not the funny part.
Okay.
And
I guess when I think of falling, I think of people getting hurt, not like actual like bad trauma versus like sometimes it's just a little funny. I mean, if I fall, I laugh.
I've had so many traumatic falls. And they all hurt. But I think it's funny to watch people fall.
Now, yours, no, I would never laugh at them. Me losing my... Oh, by the way, when I fell in the hallway, I lost my shoes in the process. I lost my shoes. They flew off.
How did you fall?
I was walking forward. I look back, and my ankles wobbled. I fell straight down, banged up my right knee. When I went to get up, my shoes were on separate sides of the hallway.
On separate sides, even.
Separate sides of the hallway. Yes.
So when you fall, do you feel like a failure? Like, does something inherently make you feel bad or wrong about falling?
No, not physically. Well, I shouldn't say that. Yes, it does, I guess, because my mom always talked about how, damn, girl, you're so clumsy. You always just falling into shit.
Yeah.
And being made fun of for not getting something right first, I just never tried when it came to physical activities because I never want to look stupid. And I don't know if it's necessarily I guess feeling stupid means it's a form of failure. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if we're talking
that's why you don't think it's funny.
Yeah.
To see people fall, because you equate it with that.
Yeah.
See? Yeah, no, I would probably not think it's funny either if I looked at it like that. I just kind of separate it from...
And I think I'm loosening up the older I get. But honestly, let's say this was 5 years ago and someone fell, or my niece had fallen or something like that, I wouldn't have laughed.
Yeah.
Unless it was my mom, but I didn't like her.
Oh, so you would laugh if someone you didn't like fell.
Yes. Well, I don't know. I guess it's just situational. And in the mind frame, in the situation at hand, if you're a douche and you fall, funny. Or if you fell and it was a cute funny, like you weren't seriously injured or something like that, then I'd be like, oh, girl, come here. You okay?
Right.
You giggle a little bit and you walk away. But those hardcore falls, those are for my enemies. But no.
Get the enemies now.
I'm just saying, because how was this? Any mistake I made was judged. So I just eventually stopped trying to make mistakes. I would stop putting myself in situations where I could fall or I could fail, whether it be physically or spiritually or, well, I shouldn't say financially because, but, any of those situations where I could feel shame for it. So I just kind of stopped making decisions, conscious decisions.
Yeah.
Because I would rather not fail. And I know it's probably ridiculous to some people, but it just felt like it was easier to stand still than to turn left or right, go backwards or forwards, because it seemed like everywhere I went, it was the wrong move.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then you don't know where to go. Some people would say probably push through it, but sometimes pushing through it, it's just you going in a circle over and over and over again. So it just got to the point where I stood still. I can't fall if I'm standing still.
Yeah.
But if I'm moving forward, if I'm moving backwards, there's a chance that I can fall and fail.
See, and I feel like I get it and understand to a degree because I don't exactly understand. So for me, I don't ever really feel like a failure or like I'm failing at something. I do always, anything I do, feel like I should have done it better or wish I had done it better or need more time to do it right or whatever. But isn't that just a form of failure, really? You know what I mean? So it's like...
Because if you had did it right, there would be no need to improve. So if you didn't need to improve, you know what I'm saying? Then
but doesn't everything change, too? So it needs to, like, change what improved is? Like...
Yes and no. But I think that's just being hard on yourself. Like, I do feel like maybe it's a form of failure in the sense of, like, let's say we go out on stage and we have a great performance, right? But I know I messed up. Everybody else can tell me it is Oscar worthy, that I'm good at what I do, blah, 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 blah. But all I can see is the things that I didn't do right. And how my performance could have been better or needed improvement. So again, I failed.
Yeah.
I didn't accomplish what I felt I should have accomplished.
Yeah, that makes sense. And honestly, there are a lot of times where I don't feel like I failed. Even there are times where I'm like, I wish I could have had more time to do the thing. But I'm still proud of whatever the things were in those situations because that also has been situational.
I guess for me, like you said, you know, the time you were given, I wouldn't even see the time I was given. I would see that, bam, you had more time to do this and you didn't. You failed. You didn't give your best. You failed. And I lost the thought because I'm high. No, let's not blame it on that. ADHD as well. But, oh, there it is. Found it.
See?
ADHD trick. Stare at something blank or non-moving. Like a wall or something or a picture. I've never felt like I've succeeded. So, like, I was talking with a coworker yesterday, and I was talking about how, you know, my doctors think that I have fibromyalgia because, you know, with that, it can come from physical or mental, well, physical, emotional trauma. Right. And I have the emotional part that affects it more, especially since I grew up in a family where, like, you know, I really didn't have emotions other than anger until I was, like, 28. And if I had the other ones, it was by myself in private because it wasn't safe. But, what was I saying?
Right now?
Yes.
Oh, no, I thought you
I was on a roll, I felt like. But success, I don't know, succeeding is nothing that I've ever felt that I have done because there's something always that I could have done that was better. I could be better. The situation could be better. So for me, there it is. We were talking about fibromyalgia.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about fibromyalgia, but I was telling him that he's like, oh, so you're in pain all the time? I was like, I guess. I was like, but I've been in pain most of my life, so it's not like I realize I'm in pain. It's just that when I no longer feel the pain, then I realize it was there in the first place. And I feel like that's how success is for me. Like, if I actually thought about it or thought about situations, and if I took the time to look back, or if I was talking to somebody else to look back, I'd be like, look at all the things you succeeded. But that's not how I feel about myself. And unfortunately, instead of being able to see everything I've accomplished or to just be grateful for the days that I have that feel is pain-free, it's more like all I see is the negative. Like, that has a bigger impact on my thought process than, you know, positivity or whatever would have. But falling and failing is probably my whole personality because it's never safe to be me. And it's hard to learn to be me when all you've ever been is criticized. So, like, let's say we were to do something. As friends with you and D, I feel very safe to fall and fail. Feel very safe to fall and fail. But in most of the world, I don't. So even with theater, people are like, oh, you're very serious because I can't let anybody see me F up. Or in the beginning of the process, I'm always the goofy individual because I never want you to take seriously what I didn't do that was perfect.
So you don't feel like you've ever succeeded at any of the roles that you've played?
I mean, I'm proud of them.
Isn't that a success?
Um...
And you should be proud of them, by the way. Excuse me, I got a little froggy in my throat from that witch. The one that knocked me on the concrete.
I guess I am, but also at the same time, the roles that I did, even if I knew deep down I was great or fantastic, I still didn't invite people to come see them. I never invite people to come see them. To have someone in my personal life to come over to this this world that I love so deeply, that is like such an inner part of me, and see it and maybe judge it and maybe see it as something that's a failure or horrible, whatever, I can't do. Right. So even if I am necessarily feeling this role and feeling like I'm killing it, I can now say confidently 20 years later that, I you would really like it. But then again, I don't ask people, one, because I don't want my performance to not be great and then you to see it like a failure, but also I don't want you to fail me and not showing up because it's something I truly care about, and I don't let people into that world. And for me to reach out and to invite you is something huge because I don't ask people for their time.
So it's not a fear of people seeing you performing. It's more a fear of them not showing up, right? Is that what you...
If we're talking about friends. And if, like, we're on stage and it's a whole bunch of strangers, if I feel like I didn't capture the audience, if I feel like I didn't take the breath or intertwine my energy with theirs, the audience, and that's a failure for me. I don't care how anybody else is like, oh, you killed it. Well, you might know the story, but I didn't feel like I captured the audience. And since I didn't capture the audience, then I didn't do my job.
Yeah.
And so then it's a downward spiral.
But sometimes failure is not so black and white. Like, in, cinema and art and creativity, it's it's different.
As far as being a writer in the sense of ideas, I think that failure has helped me tremendously. But does it also mean that I'm a writer with 1,000,001 stories in my head, but I'm too afraid to put it on paper because I'm afraid that it will be a failure? I'm afraid that it will be a dud. I'm afraid that what I'm writing down isn't the best thing I've ever written. Even though that's unrealistic, the times that I have found myself in greatness in the very beginning were times when I wasn't trying and I was just simply being. Right. But now that I'm aware of what I could do, it's like you're only as good as your last job. So therefore, the person I'm competing with is not everybody else. The person I am competing with is myself on how to be better. But I'm also afraid that there isn't a better version of myself. So then you just hide from trying to challenge yourself altogether. I can't fail if I don't try.
But better than who?
Me. I'm not in this world. I do not.
But what does better mean if you're not competing? Or not thinking of things competitively? Because better in your own acting
and when I
ability.
say compete, I don't mean this is my top score, that's my top score. It's okay. I learned how to do this. What's the next level? What's the next level? Well, maybe that was as far as I could get up that mountain. Maybe I'm delusional in thinking that I can make it the next 100 feet. You know what? I probably am. Let's look. I did achieve a lot, so I guess I should be content with what I have. It sucks, though, because I really would like to go further. That type of thing. It's me against me. I have never, ever in this world wanted to be anybody else in the sense of I don't want someone else's life. Do I wish my life was better or had improved or things were different? Yes. But do I want to be in this life anybody other than Nick Kane? I do not. And I never have. And I've never thought to myself...
Oh, I totally have a whole bunch of times.
No. And that's just like, I'm black. We all know this, or maybe I mentioned it before. But I'm also a dark-skinned black individual. And the community... There's this whole coloristic thing. The lighter you are, the better. But I have never, ever in my life desired to be lighter. Never in my life have I desired to be white or to be this or that or any. Like, I've never desired it because it was just me. Like, trying to change that seems so crazy. Plus, I grew up with, my mom telling me my skin was beautiful. My aunt telling me my skin was beautiful. My dad... the best way my dad knows how to tell me my skin is beautiful. I've never had that issue, and I didn't realize how lucky and blessed I was in that, because a lot of people who look like me don't get that. Plus, also, I rebel against what I'm told I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to think. So the moment you told me that I'm supposed to want to be lighter was the moment I knew that I was doing what I was supposed to, because you worried about me and I'm not worried about you. And like that's and in that regard, I am very comfortable. Now, do I wish my body was a little bit different here or there? My boobs look different, or was like this, or I remember my side of my face. It's a very African face. I didn't realize it was very African until I was older. So I will say I used to hate the shape of my profile because I don't have those features that like stick out. Forward, like I don't have a huge prominent side features, you know what I'm saying, or like how people would draw the side people. So I always hated my
I
face.
don't have a chin,
but baby, barely got a neck over here. But I'm
the profile of a Simpsons character.
Yeah, but like those characters you see and stuff on TV, like I always hated it, especially when I got to high school, and it just really just stood out to me. But then when I realized that my features were African, was the moment I loved them. I have never wanted to be someone else. I might have wanted things to be a different experience, but I'm born into the body I was supposed to be born into, and I've never felt anything different about that. Sometimes I wonder, maybe this or that, or maybe I was meant to be this, in the sense of like, girl, where does your taste come from? But then when I think about how I am not like the status quo, that makes me happier than thinking of fitting it into a box. So in that regard, I am very confident. It is only the words against me, the voice that's in my head that came from my mother, but eventually took on my own voice. That, or not just her, but like, my dad, whoever, that is the person I'm always in a battle with. Everybody else is not a character or a role in my movie, in my story, in my saga. It is me versus me. And that is what I am always struggling with, failing and falling with.
Fine, but let me say this. I never desired to be white either. So, good for you. Cuckoo-ca-choo. I
know.
But yeah, no, I have never
desired.
People are
beautiful the way they are.
There's not like, it's never been like, I want to be
No. I'm just saying. But
I would love to know many different experiences. Mm-hmm. But I am fine with me as me.
You know what's so funny is that talking about different experiences, I have never thought to experience or been curious necessarily in how to live the life of a white person or white counterpart, because I already know that it's the opposite of what I feel in the sense of privilege. And I don't mean privilege in the sense of finances or anything like that, because you can be any race and be poor as, heck. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about sometimes the confidence that even in the shittiest of times, everything around you is yours. Yours to touch, yours to ask about, yours to put your business into that nose. It is so crazy when I look at it from that point of view. Because sometimes I'll sit there and I'll look and be like, damn, your privilege told you it's just okay to just walk up and touch stuff or take stuff. Huh. Don't know what that's like. because my life told me that if I did that, I get shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it tells me. So, but like in that regard, but I'm not curious. I just know it's the lack of, and not all, but in a lot of instances, it's the lack of awareness, a lack of knowledge, it's ignorance. And I don't crave to be ignorant. I might not have the best of what people would love to be, other than this fetish-sized rapper video whole version of a black person. But I also know what it's like to look at the world and see it through other people's eyes without having to say I saw it through somebody else's eyes. I can simply see that this is a life that I live that's differently than me, and accept it and keep it moving without trying to convince everybody else that I'm not racist. I don't have time. So no, I definitely have never thought about it. But also, I'm not a racist. If I like you, I like you. I don't give a heck what you look like. But I will never be dumb enough to say I don't see color, because that's stupid. That's stupid. That is me not acknowledging who you are. I see it. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. And maybe I can learn something different. But for me to say I don't see it is the dumbest shit I ever heard.
I mean, you see it all around you. It's everywhere.
And if you feel the need to say I don't see it, then you saw it. You saw it. You saw it. But yeah, I know I'm talking over here. But I also have a lot of conversations. My brain is 90% of the time I am having some sort of debate in my own head about whatever it may be.
But failure is in many, many different eyes by being out in the world. So what you see as a failure, I might not see as a failure. Mm-hmm. It's the same as like art. Like, it's all subjective. Failure is subjective. Mm-hmm. So the more you think about failing, the more you think about falling, the more you stumble and fall. Like, the more you, like, it's this, there's this Buddhist thing I was reading. I like to, excuse me, when I get like really down, I like to read like Buddhist things. Mm-hmm. Because for some reason that helps me wrap my mind around the like existential dread I have of living in this world and society. And for some reason, books about Buddhism and that kind of like thought and thought process have helped me so much. And I can't remember the exact quote because I'm stupid. Not really. But it was essentially like the more you think of it, the more you become it, kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. Like, it's almost like you're manifesting it by in any way buying into it. Mm-hmm. So it is such a train of thought thing. And also it is so subjective because what other people will see as the greatest will not necessarily be what you see as the greatest.
Right.
But that doesn't invalidate other people's opinion of what is the greatest.
No.
Because, like, if you hated a movie that I loved, I wouldn't be like, well, you're dumb and have no taste. That doesn't mean you don't have taste if you don't have my taste.
And that's the thing. People will still say those things. But all those things to me are annoying. I'm never worried about people's... I shouldn't say we never worry about other people's opinion, but people's opinion and how I'm feeling most of the time isn't the problem. It is me. It may be my opinion of what I think people are feeling, or you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, truly, they're not the problem. It's me. Because the more I've come to be and like, I'm always surprised by the friendships that I had, because my people really had me convinced as into I was such a boring person that nobody wanted to be around. Because I wasn't out here smoking, doing drugs, and shaking my ass, and, you know, doing all kinds of crazy stuff in high school. I was always convinced. And then when I had met my best friend, Kyra, we met when we were in high school, 16, and she was my friend. it took me until maybe a decade later to realize that she was sticking around, because again, I was truly trying to figure out why were you around. I've been in friendships where I was just there because they were lonely. So I think that's also probably why I have a problem with a lot of people.
And now look at you,
because I can't stand
on crack.
I cannot stand people being fake for the sake of the fact that they're lonely, which is dumb because we all do it in some way, shape, or form, probably. But we'll come back. That's a subject for another day. But because I can go down that rabbit hole. But people wanting to hang out with me, it wasn't until I got older, and then especially when I moved out on my own, and then I said to myself one day, I was like, bitch, you funny as fuck. You are fucking hilarious. And even when my coworkers are being grumpy and I'm over here and you want to be upset because I refuse to, bow down, maybe the only person who's going to control me is God. And that's when I believe in myself. And guess what? I'm not worried about you and Rebecca over there. I don't care. I truly give zero fucks. But I will say to myself, oh my God, you're hilarious, or something like that. I'm like, whew. I'll be walking by right there. I'll be like, and my gifts are wasted on these people. And I will keep walking because I am funny. And I didn't think I was, and nor would I say I'm a comedian, nor would I say that I go around and I could do improv. Not that, but I think once you look at life and you're able to laugh, you're able to process, and you're able to move on. And it just happens that I've had a lot of life to live.
Okay, so when does your stand-up special come out on Netflix then?
Well, are we going to go the Dave Chappelle route or the Monique route?
I don't know, are ya? How long is your set? How long is your set? That's how you decide.
Until they tell me to get off stage.
Okay, then do it the Netflix 1 hour special like the rest of them.
Okay.
1 hour.
Okay.
You just gotta fill the hour.
I could talk for days.
I'm just saying.
I'm
ready to watch the special.
I don't know. Nobody would watch my special.
Why are you constantly looking to the right?
What do you mean?
You keep going.
Because it's blank and it helps me think.
Oh. I thought you were looking at something and I was going to be annoyed or grossed out if there was a fly or a bug flying around.
Quick second. This studio space that we're in is covered from top to bottom in Halloween stuff. But it's disturbing that I am looking over at the white wall switch.
No. I don't like flies.
Uh-huh. But you like spiders.
Yeah, but I also don't want a spider in my house.
But remember that spider that was over there that you let live and you had named it and everything?
Elvira.
Yeah.
But then the minute she started walking toward him, I was like, kill her. Just step on her.
Oh.
And he, got a piece of paper and a little thingy and, took her away. And I was like, that's fine too. But also, I gotta be real honest. The minute it's in my home, I could kill it at any time. I mean, not if it's your baby or your dog. I just mean any bug.
No,
I'm sorry. Unless it's see, if it was a ladybug, which and ladybugs I've heard are terrible and gross. What are you doing now? Now you're freaking me out again.
I was looking at my own feet.
But you were
because I dropped something.
That's what it was. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, what did you drop?
I don't know, but it was something.
Something was falling. What a failure.
I'll say that my gravestone, and so she failed.
So are you afraid of falling? Is it a dream you have a lot? Is it something you see or notice?
There's two dreams I remember I had a lot when I was a kid. One was drowning in pools and stuff, and then the other one was falling into the pits, not to the pits, but into some type of natural disaster movie. I would be driving. I don't know why I was always underage when I was driving. I was 7, but I would be driving. Something crazy would happen, and then the earth will start to open up, and I'm over there dangling from the side of the car, about to fall into this pit.
Mm-hmm. So did you watch disaster movies? Was this a thing that informed, like, did you like them? Did you care about them?
No, if it's anything,
or like
my dad probably
apocalypse movies?
No, it might be something my dad had on the background or something like that. But no, not really. Those aren't my things. I think I'm more into movies that are about the impossible instead of the what we already know to be.
Right.
So obviously, Rampage ain't gonna happen with the whole white monkey, gorilla, whatever it is. That's not gonna happen like realistically, or King Kong. But you know, falling into it because of an earthquake, yeah, you know that is something that's real. You know, me over here hanging out with on the Shire with the hobbits and my precious and Bilbo Baggins and all that type of stuff.
The Shire with the Baggins.
Yeah, you so ignorant because he doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Not a clue.
But all of those things, or the TARDIS for Doctor Who, like all those things.
What did you call me?
TARDIS.
Stop it.
With Doctor Who.
Not in front of my salad.
I mean, if you watch Doctor Who, you knew it's all.
I don't have a clue about it.
It's all bigger on the inside.
What, that telephone booth?
It's a spaceship.
Okay. It's ugly. Oh.
I mean, he came for y'all. Me, I'm over here being American.
Okay. Well, if you got anything to say, at me. My P.O. box is 666. So send it there, bitch.
So stupid. But no, yeah. I guess if you put falling and failing, if they're, what is that, interchangeable for me, then yeah, all the time. But literally, it's just by myself. It's literally, I wake up, okay, this is what I could be doing. How could I fix this situation? Fuck, you messed up over here by doing this. You didn't do this over here. You know what? Let's just pretend like it's not happening. So then we just lay there for days on days. We're into this whole depressive, little era. And you come back out and then you go, damn, so that's why my lights got cut off.
You know what helped me with all that? Medicine. That's all. I'm just saying. That doesn't mean you need it, and I'm not even trying to have that discussion, but I am on medicine, and it's helping with that.
I am too, and I will say this last week with the whole job and me being sick, it's not helping my mental health.
Yeah. Because
I haven't been consistent about taking both of my pills, and I need to take both. One or the other is fine, but it doesn't. Them together is the best combo. Yeah. One numbs my feelings to the point that everything is not this big dramatic thing.
Right.
Or I shouldn't say dramatic.
You should not.
Because it's dramatic. Not. But it's not.
It's overpowering.
Overpowering or epic of a situation going on, and then the other one allows me to, I feel like, balance my levels completely. So one helps the moods to not be so strong, and the other one helps me think clearly. Mm-hmm. And so I need both, and I've been taking one or the other and not both, and that is not good. But also I think ever since I honestly I think it's just my relationship with my father that has truly messed up how I thought I was going to be this summer. Yeah. And it's starting to affect me. And once it gets to be about fall, while I love being inside, I also live alone in an area that none of my friends live in. And I am in a place where people don't like to necessarily come over because I live in the city and the type of parking is ridiculous. So again, that trumps down on it. Yeah. So it just fall becomes a very lonely season for me. And I don't think I really do much interaction with other people until spring. And it's only because I'm at work and everybody is coming outside because it's warm, and now I have to take care of them at work. But other than that, no. So,
but the fall is so easy to go out and about, and I don't like the winter. You're not going to see me during the winter. I'm going right home and going to bed.
But see, that's the thing. I live in Missouri. I live in St. Louis, and I am allergic.
No way, me too.
You're so stupid. But that's the thing my therapist pointed out to me. Like, I'm having a hard time with depression. It is very hard for me. It's not like I can go outside and just enjoy the weather or sit by the pool or do anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who don't know, when I say my allergies are bad, I take like 5 different things daily, year round for my allergies. And then again, still in the fall and the spring, I can deal with a bout of hives that won't go away, and I'll have to be on steroids for a very long time. Like, this is my life all the time. So despite fall being a season that I love, I can't necessarily go out and enjoy it. But I can enjoy the beautiful sunlight coming in through my living room and me in a onesie and stuff like that. But again,
Come on, onesie.
that's all solo things. You know what I mean? It's not something that is necessarily with people. And that's another reason why I can't wait to move, and everything in me is saying move now, even though I know that I'm supposed to be preparing for my next journey in life. But I hate everything that's around me. It feels more like it's pulling me down and suffocating me than uplifting me. And one of the huge things in this, for me in this state, is the weather, because truly, ever since we've moved here, I haven't been able to enjoy the outdoors. My very first nature walk, you know, they did in class and stuff. They take you out and you walk around the neighborhood and look at the leaves and stuff like that. Yeah, my very first one is where I got asthma.
That was like my favorite thing to do in school in the fall. So
literally,
if you like,
very first fall walk,
if you
end up having asthma.
like fantastical media and fantastical, so what about things about like mental health or like family childhood things like that resonate with you? Like, can you watch and do you like media that resonates with parts of yourself that you don't necessarily like to look at? Does that make sense?
Only if it's in a fantastical way, not if it's in an everyday life thing.
Not in an ordinary way, you don't.
And it would have to be in extraordinary circumstances. Then I would like to look at my life, and it's easier to look at my life. It's not so close, because I know I'm not going to be able to just suddenly get wings or be put into a house. You know, teens live the rent. But, you know, I know those things aren't necessarily possible for me, so it's easier. But if we're talking about like everyday things, sometimes it hurts to be reminded of what you don't have, and how cold the individuals can be around you, and how, as much as you want to connect with those around you, it feels absolutely impossible. Like there's this invisible film, not even wall, film, that is around you, that is sticking to you, that is clinging to you, that won't let you out, no matter how much you push to connect to others. And that feeling, that season is coming upon me. And I can feel it in the sense too, where I feel like crying. Like I haven't cried in a long time, except for a couple weeks ago, which I was really proud of myself. But there's always tears ready to be shed behind my eyes, and that's what it feels like. I'm holding that back all the time. Like even right now in this conversation, you know, my logical brain comes on, and I do my best to shut off the emotional part. But and in discussions, I can normally do that, but I can also feel that dark era is coming upon me, and I'm doing everything I can to stay afloat. But the holidays are going to be very, very hard for me, because of family and my family situations, and a lot of my, you know, familiar relationships coming to an end, and me knowing that it is amazing in the long run because it would allow me to fly, but also at the same time there is mourning to be done, and this feeling that I had around the holidays and family all crumbled and fell at my feet, you know. So that is something else that has fallen. And if I am in that spirit, it's hard for me. It's almost like I only have from January to October, not October, January to August, end of August, to really achieve anything. Because once September comes around, all I can think about is everything I did not complete.
Well, tomorrow's September.
Let's see if we make it to the end of the month.
Spoiler alert. Tomorrow's September. And on the topic of flying and falling, I think they sometimes feel the same.
True.
And that's why sometimes you just might have to look at the brighter side. As cliche, as taboo, as fakey Hollywood self-love, woo-woo-y bullshit as that may sound, the only way you can be the better version that you think you are is to make yourself comfortable enough to sit in like the awkward parts of falling or of living. And I feel like they really do feel similarly a lot of times because new stuff is scary. Like, and putting yourself out there is scary. And even though you may be like your own harshest critic sometimes, ultimately it's not gonna do you any good to hate anything that comes out of you. Like, none of us can really control our essence and the things we create and the things we are. But that's also what makes all that scary, because you're like giving a piece of yourself. So I like only imagine every book I've ever been like, oh my god, this is terrible, I can't read it, it's boring. Harry Potter, the first book, I tried to read it and I was like, I don't like this at all. The writing is bad and I'm not interested. And I threw it down. But now I can say that because people don't like
J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling. But again, that all goes right back to subjectivity. And that is what makes art and creating so wonderful. Because if you keep performing and writing and singing whatever the thing is that a person makes or creates, the better it makes the world for someone, whether or not it's helping you. Like us creating, anyone creating is going to resonate with someone and change a life. And it's all those little things and those little moments that for some reason will just totally blow someone's mind and change your mind because it's just in that moment. And then other things you're just like, why would anyone like that? Like, that's how I feel about Madonna. And there are people that will come try to find me and choke me to death for even saying that.
I agree.
But they're just, some things just don't resonate with people. But that should be a takeaway in letting things be that are. Like, just because you don't like something, does that mean other people don't have to like it? No. So shouldn't we all just keep creating and making, except for some? Just kidding.
No, that's true.
There actually is some people that don't need to keep making or creating.
They need to be stopped, arrested.
Yeah, if you've been canceled, just chill out. Like that chick with the little ukulele or whatever. Amanda Sings.
Oh, that creepy groomer bitch.
Miranda Sings.
What'd you say?
What did I say? Amanda. I
Oh.
thought her name was Amanda. I don't know. She does that voice with the lipstick on.
Better than... Yeah, I know you're talking about, but it'll always be... Oh, Flippy.
But, like, isn't this a lesson in reverting things back to looking at things through a creative and artistic lens? If we become more focused on looking at something creatively, maybe in that we can rest a little in like being so harsh. And does that make sense? Like, some things just are like, I'm sure the people that directed any movie would say to us, I wish I had more time. I'm sure all of the epic Casablanca. Yeah. I'm sure the director, whoever that is, I don't know who it was, someone famous. But I'm sure they would tell you, oh, that could have been much better if I had more time, more money, or if I could have, or if I would have been in the right headspace then. Like, I think it's human nature to want more from ourselves. Mm-hmm. So try to take some delight and take away some of the love and appreciation other people have to maybe quiet a voice of you'll never be good enough.
Yeah. And honestly, you saying that does make me think, because we talked about me and my new job, and a part of me feels like maybe it's just the fear of not falling, of not failing, because I do feel that there's an epic change coming in my life, but I don't know what to do with that. So I'm looking towards all my old ways of soothing or self-sabotaging. And so I'm just looking for things to hate before I really even start this journey. But
it's really easy to go there and to become discouraged or feel defeated because there are so many things that reinforce, well, this doesn't go my way, or I don't.
Because a lot of that has been happening. It's been back to back things happening to me since.
And it's
June.
Not all in your head though.
No,
like that's
actual
the thing.
Incidences.
Like,
and I'm just saying, man, that's another thing that's knocking me down. This is another thing. This is okay. I don't think I'll be able to get back up this time, and that's where I'm at. And it's just been one thing after the other, and I'm at a space where I am just tired, just completely tired. But
how tired? How tired?
As tired as those bees and working in them honeycombs.
How are the bees working in the honeycombs?
Like D-Dare Bionic.
The producer and editor of the show?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
I'm just saying he has his own, he's the queen of his own beehive. I'm just saying, if you've met him, you would know what greatness was like. Oh. He doesn't want us to say this, and that's why we have to. Plus, it's, honesty. So business bitches.
Honesty is the best policy.
You know
but why even compare him to the bee, then? Because he's above that. He's better than that.
Oh, no, I'm just talking about the honey.
He's a dragon.
Okay. No, he's the queen bee, and I'm telling you that I'm a basic bitch honeybee over here, tired of schlepping it back and forth.
And I'm telling you, say it, don't spray it. Do you understand? I wanted the news, not the weather.
Damn, I've never heard that one before.
You haven't? Really?
No.
Oh, wow. Really?
Say don't spray it, yes, but not the news and the weather part.
Oh. Well, I'm old, so I've got lots of stories to tell you. But for now...
Can we just put in real quick that I love D-Dare Bionic? And that I'm really waiting for him to have his own flock. Flock of what? I don't know. But he's about to start his own community.
I, too, have been watching How to Become a Cult Leader on Netflix. This is not sponsored by Netflix, but it should be. Sponsor us, Netflix. Or just anybody, because I don't even know what that really means, but people say it. So do it.
Sponsor us. Subscribe.
And do all
Thumbs
that,
up.
too. Which I guess leads us to today's revelation about falling and failing and buzz in the honeycomb.
Buzz, bitches.
I wonder what your takeaway is, because for me it's that falling and failing are no different than flying, really. It's all scary. Yeah. That's my revelation from our talk today.
And mine is take your medicine consistently.
Apparently, because look how it's got me talking. So...
I take one or the other, and I need both.
Yeah, you need both. Because both is the ticket, the shebang. So, I guess now is the point in the night where I have to pee and I'm starving. So, how do we end it? What do we just say the same thing?
I guess. And if you guys hear this, we're on that bus today, the struggle bus. But thank you guys for tuning in. And again, this is Nick's Kane.
And Ronnie Bray.
And this is Smoke and Revelations. Smoke.
I don't know why I just did that.
Smoke.
I'm already gonna fall asleep.
Done.